Listen closely. Life is not a sprint. It is not even a marathon. Life is a battlefield disguised as a chessboard. The impatient rush forward, and they bleed out first. The desperate force their way, and they collapse under their own weight. The weak show their hunger, and predators feast on them. But you, if you want to become untouchable, you must master the art of waiting. Waiting is not hesitation. Waiting is not weakness. Waiting is control. Patience is a weapon sharper than any sword. It is the quiet confidence of the hunter who sits in the shadows, still as stone, while the prey panics in the open. Every move you make must be deliberate, every word calculated, every silence chosen. When you stop trying to force life, you bend it to your will. That is Machiavellian patience, cold, ruthless, disciplined. Understand this: the world will try to push you into acting out of fear, out of insecurity, out of desperation. But when you refuse, when you hold the line, silent, unreadable, that's when they lose power. That's when you win. Comment this right now. I move when I decide, not when they expect. 2. The power of restraint. Power is not shown in endless motion. Power is revealed in restraint. The fool thinks strength means noise, action, constant movement. But the man who controls himself, his urges, his impulses, his hunger, that man is feared because no one knows when he will strike, and when he does, it is final. Machiavelli understood this. Men who act too fast show their hand too early. They expose their ambition before they have the foundation to protect it. They shout their plans, they overextend, and in doing so, they destroy themselves. That is not strategy. That is suicide. You must learn to operate in silence. You must train yourself to withhold, to hold back when every nerve in your body screams for release. This is cold power psychology, bending your emotions into submission until your emotions serve you, not the other way around. Stoicism is not about being numb. It's about being untouchable. It's about standing in the fire and smiling while everyone else burns. The man who cannot be provoked wins. The man who refuses to show weakness rules. The man who waits with a calm mind while others act in haste dictates the outcome. So here's the truth. The world is watching you, testing you, waiting for you to break. Don't give them the satisfaction. Become the wall they can't move, the storm they can't predict. Type it now in the comments. I rule my emotions, they do not rule me. 3. The strategy of silence. Silence is not emptiness, silence is strategy. Every time you open your mouth, you give away leverage. Every time you rush to explain yourself, you hand your power to another. Understand this. The less they know, the more they imagine. And imagination is more dangerous than fact. Let them wonder, let them overthink, let them project their own fears onto you. That is how you gain control, without moving a single piece. Machiavelli himself would tell you, appearances are weapons. If they see you restless, they know you are weak. If they hear you talk too much, they measure your intentions. But if you say little, if you wait, if you reveal nothing, then you become unpredictable. And unpredictability is power. Think about predators in the wild. The lion does not roar before the hunt. The serpent does not hiss before the strike. True predators move in silence. They let the prey make noise. They let the prey panic. And then, with surgical precision, they strike once, and it's over. This is how you must live. Control your tongue. Guard your intentions. Let the world guess what you're thinking. If they cannot read you, they cannot stop you. If they cannot predict you, they cannot trap you. Mystery makes men dangerous. Clarity makes them disposable. Most men expose themselves because they cannot handle silence. They confess their dreams, their weaknesses, their insecurities, begging for validation. But you are not most men. You are forging yourself into something untouchable. The man who learns to stay silent until the moment is right holds the world by the throat. When you do speak, your words will hit like thunder. When you act, your moves will cut like steel. Write this in the comments. My silence is my weapon. My timing is my kill. This is how you become more than strong. This is how you become inevitable. 4. The patience of the predator. Power belongs to the man who waits, not the man who hesitates, not the man who doubts, but the man who waits with discipline, focus, and absolute belief in himself. There is a difference between stalling out of fear and waiting out of strength. The weak stall because they cannot decide. The strong wait because they know the precise moment to strike. A predator never wastes energy chasing shadows. The eagle circles high above, calm, almost detached until the perfect moment appears. Then, in one explosive movement, it ends the hunt. That's the model. That's the mindset. You don't waste yourself on every opportunity. You don't grab at every temptation. You conserve your energy. You sharpen your weapons. You let the fools exhaust themselves. And when their guard drops, you take everything. This is Machiavellian strategy in its rawest form. Life is filled with traps. People will try to bait you with urgency. Act now. Decide fast. Don't miss your chance. That's manipulation. The masses fall for it because they fear missing out. But the man of patience sees through it. He knows nothing is lost by waiting, only refined. The one who waits is never desperate, and desperation is what kills kings, empires, and men. In dark psychology, patience is terrifying. Imagine standing before someone who refuses to react, refuses to show panic, refuses to break under pressure. That silence, that calm, is unsettling. People reveal their own weakness when confronted with patience. They rush, they crack, they reveal secrets, all while you remain still, collecting information, waiting for the kill shot. This is masculine stoicism, unyielding, cold, relentless. You become the man who cannot be forced, cannot be cornered, cannot be rattled, and in time, life bends toward you. Opportunities fall into your hands, not because you begged for them, but because you waited until they became undeniable. Let others scramble. Let others run in circles. You sit in the shadows with a calm heart and a sharp mind, and when you decide, it is final. It is absolute. Write this in the comments now. I wait because I am in control. My time is always perfect. This is the patience of the predator, the patience that makes men unstoppable, the patience that makes you untouchable. 5. Turning pain into power. Every man suffers, every man bleeds, but only a few know how to turn that suffering into strength. Pain is not your enemy, it is your weapon. The masses run from pain. They drown it in distractions, in vices, in excuses. But the man who will rise, he stares pain in the eye. He does not flinch. He absorbs it, bends it, and forges it into something unbreakable. Understand this. Suffering is the training ground of power. You cannot dominate if you have not been burned. You cannot rule if you have not been crushed. Power comes from endurance, the kind that looks cold, unshaken, unstoppable. Machiavelli knew rulers must endure storms without cracking, because weakness is contagious. When you hold firm, you inspire fear in enemies and respect in allies. Here is where dark psychology comes in. People expect suffering to break you. They expect failure to silence you. They want to see you collapse because your strength exposes their weakness. So when you rise from pain sharper, colder, calmer, your very existence unsettles them. They cannot understand it. They cannot control it, and that makes you dangerous. Masculine stoicism is not about pretending pain doesn't exist. It's about carrying it without complaint, without theatrics. When the world sees you smile with scars, when they see you walk forward after devastation, they know you are not like them. You are forged of something rarer, something harder. Think of every setback you've faced, every betrayal, every loss, every rejection. Did it hurt? Yes. But did it end you? Number. You are here, still breathing, still moving. That is proof of your strength. Pain did not kill you. It carved you. It refined you. It made you sharper than the men who ran. The key is to never waste your suffering. Every insult, every failure, every wound, it is fuel. Store it. Let it build inside. And when the moment comes, unleash it. That cold fury, directed with precision, can move mountains. The Machiavellian mind sees pain as leverage. While others break, you collect power. While others retreat, you advance. Your enemies reveal their fragility when faced with hardship. You reveal your dominance by thriving in it. That is why true power feels inevitable. It comes from endurance no one else can match. So remember this: do not run from suffering. Do not hide from pain. Embrace it, master it, weaponize it. Let every scar remind you that you are still here, still unbroken, still advancing. That is untouchable power. Type this in the comments: my pain is not my weakness. My pain is my weapon. This is how men become kings, not by comfort, not by safety, but by rising through fire, colder, stronger, and absolutely unmovable. 6. Bending people and circumstances to your will. Power is not given. Power is taken. But the secret is this: you don't always take it through force. You bend people and circumstances until they give it willingly, without realizing it. This is the Machiavellian way. To dominate, you must master perception, timing, and influence. The first rule: people are predictable. They act out of fear, greed, and pride. That is the machinery inside them. They chase pleasure. They flee from discomfort. They need validation. Learn to watch this. Learn to read their eyes, their tone, their hesitation. Once you see what drives them, you can bend them. Not by showing your hand, but by pulling invisible strings. The second rule: never reveal your full strength. Let people underestimate you. Let them think you are harmless. When you hold back, you create mystery. Mystery breeds fear, and fear makes people cautious. When they cannot measure you, they cannot control you. That is how you maintain the advantage. The third rule: control the frame. Circumstances will always shift. Chaos will always come. But the man who controls the interpretation of events controls reality. If you lose, but frame it as a lesson, you don't lose, you grow. If someone attacks you, but you remain calm, you've won before the fight even starts. Control how things are seen, and you control how things unfold. Dark psychology understands this truth. People crave certainty. They want someone to guide them, someone to lean on, someone who seems unshakable. When you embody patience, silence, and discipline, they naturally align with you. They seek your lead. They trust your calm. That is how you bend people, without shouting, without begging, simply by being the immovable center they orbit around. Circumstances work the same way. Most men fight against reality, forcing, pushing, exhausting themselves. You don't. You wait. You adapt. You position yourself like a rock in the river. The water bends around you. You don't resist the flow. You let it carve pathways that lead straight into your hands. This is the Stoic advantage: unshaken in chaos, unbreakable in storms, untouchable in uncertainty. Think of power as gravity. You don't chase. You don't beg. You increase your mass, your discipline, your patience, your silence, your control. And like planets pulled into orbit, people and opportunities bend toward you. That is real domination, not forcing, not pleading, but attracting through sheer inevitability. So remember, power is not noise, it's presence. It's not motion, it's gravity. And once you build it, the world tilts in your favor. Type this in the comments now: I don't chase, I attract. I bend the world to me. This is the true Machiavellian path, bending men and moments until they serve you. Calm, cold, absolute. 7. Emotional detachment, becoming immune to manipulation. The battlefield of life is not won by the strongest body or the loudest voice. It is won by the man who controls his emotions. To be untouchable, you must master detachment. You must learn to hold your emotions in check, to discipline your mind so that no one, friend, enemy, or lover, can pull you like a puppet on strings. This is where most men fail. They believe emotions are authenticity. They think expressing everything they feel is real. But what's real doesn't matter. What matters is power, and power demands control. The man who cannot master his rage, his lust, his fear, his pride, that man is a slave, and slaves do not rule, they are ruled. Machiavelli himself warned, men are predictable because they are driven by passion. To rise above them, you must not eliminate emotion. You must cage it, weaponize it, and use it only when it serves you. Like fire, emotion must be contained. Unleashed without discipline, it burns you. Directed with precision, it destroys your enemies. Think of this. When someone insults you, they expect anger. When someone ignores you, they expect neediness. When someone provokes you, they expect reaction. If you give it, you lose. You've shown your hand. You've let them steer the outcome. But if you remain calm, if you respond with silence, with an unreadable mask, suddenly the power shifts. They wonder what you're thinking. They wonder what you're planning. They begin to fear your quiet. This is cold power psychology. Turning the tables simply by refusing to give the enemy what they crave. Your detachment becomes intimidation. Your composure becomes dominance. Understand, emotional detachment does not mean apathy. It means control. You still feel, but you never let those feelings dictate your decisions. You observe them, hold them, and decide when or if they should be revealed. And when you do reveal them, it's calculated. It's strategic. It's meant to shift the balance of power, not to release pressure. This is why Stoicism is the ultimate masculine weapon. The Stoic man endures chaos without being broken. He sees fortune rise and fall, but his mind remains still. He loves, but he does not beg. He fights, but he does not rage. He suffers, but he does not complain. That is power. To carry the storms of life with a calm face and a steady will. Dark psychology tells us that manipulators feed on emotion. They look for cracks, guilt, shame, lust, insecurity. If you display them openly, you are already prey. But if you present yourself as cold stone, as a man who cannot be baited, cannot be tricked, cannot be provoked, you become immune. Their games collapse. Their influence dies in silence. Imagine an enemy trying to provoke you in public. He shouts, he mocks, he calls you out. The crowd expects you to explode, but you don't. You stand there, still, calm, looking through him as if he doesn't exist. In that moment, who has power? Not him, you, because you proved you are above his control. He is noise, you are presence. This is not just about enemies. It's about women, about colleagues, about friends. Everyone tests boundaries. Everyone pushes. Emotional detachment makes you untouchable. It makes people respect you, even when they don't understand you. They know you cannot be played. They know your mind belongs only to you. So how do you cultivate this? Through discipline. First, control your breathing. A calm body leads to a calm mind. Second, delay your reactions. When provoked, pause. Count in silence. Watch how quickly the world exposes itself if you simply don't respond. Third, speak less. The less you reveal, the harder it is for anyone to manipulate you. Fourth, reframe suffering. See pain not as cruelty, but as sharpening. This mental shift makes you immune to pity traps. Once you practice this, you will feel a shift. The same words that used to cut you will now pass through you like air. The same tricks that used to manipulate you will fall flat. And slowly, you will see people begin to tread carefully around you, not because you shout, not because you threaten, but because your silence unnerves them. This is the masculine fortress: detachment, patience, control. And once you embody it, you are no longer just a man in the crowd. You are a force. Type this into the comments. My mind is mine alone. No one controls me. This is emotional detachment. This is how you become immune. This is how you rise untouchable. 8. Manipulating perception, controlling how the world sees you. Power is not only about what you are, it's about what others believe you are. The world does not respond to truth, it responds to perception. And the man who understands this principle bends reality itself. Machiavelli taught this centuries ago. It is not necessary for a ruler to be virtuous, only to appear virtuous. Appearances are weapons sharper than steel. If people believe you are strong, they will obey, even if you are outnumbered. If they believe you are cold, ruthless, and untouchable, they will hesitate, even if you haven't made a move. Perception is armor. Perception is a throne. Perception is power. Ask yourself, how do they see you? Do they see a man scrambling, explaining, seeking approval? Or do they see someone calm, disciplined, unreadable? You must construct your image deliberately. You must control what you reveal, what you conceal, and what you allow them to imagine. The less they know, the more they fill in the blanks, and what they fill in will always be bigger, darker, stronger than reality. That is the beauty of perception. Silence, for example, is not emptiness. Silence is mystery. When you don't explain yourself, people invent reasons. They wonder why you don't speak. They wonder what you're planning. And that wondering keeps them off balance. You control them without lifting a finger. But manipulation of perception isn't only about silence. It's about calculated presence. Appear at the right time, disappear at the right time. Show strength in flashes, then retreat into calm. Give them glimpses, never the whole picture. A predator never reveals his hunting ground until the moment of the kill. Neither should you. Dark psychology makes this clear. People judge quickly and rarely question their first impression. If you appear calm under fire, they assume you are always calm. If you appear disciplined in one moment, they assume discipline defines you. They build a narrative around you, and if you feed that narrative carefully, it becomes reality in their minds. That reality dictates how they treat you. Think about it. A man who is known for control is never tested the same way a man known for weakness is tested. A man with a reputation for silence will always be feared more than the man who overshares. A man believed to be ruthless will rarely need to show it, because people already assume it's there. This is why you must treat your reputation as a weapon, guard it, shape it, protect it. Never allow gossip, slander, or weakness to redefine it. If someone challenges it, destroy them quietly but decisively so the story reinforces your image. You don't need everyone to love you. In fact, it's better if some hate you, as long as they respect you. Respect built on fear lasts longer than affection built on weakness. Masculine stoicism feeds into this perfectly. When the world sees a man who does not complain, who does not break, who does not beg, they assign him power. They don't know if you are suffering because you don't show it. They don't know if you are doubting because you hide it. And what they cannot see, they assume doesn't exist. That assumption becomes your shield. Here's the Machiavellian truth. It is more important to appear powerful than to be powerful. Being powerful without perception is useless. Appearing powerful, even before the power is fully yours, forces the world to treat you like a king, and being treated like a king leads you closer to becoming one. Perception precedes reality. So how do you build this? Discipline your image. Don't share every thought. Don't broadcast every struggle. Don't expose your entire life to the crowd. Give them only what strengthens your reputation. Appear in control. Appear patient. Appear unshaken. When you win, do it loudly. When you fail, do it silently. Let them see your strength, never your cracks. And remember this: perception manipulation is not lying. It's leadership. It's survival. The masses are blind to depth. They will always follow the image, not the truth. So you create the image and let them worship it. This is cold power psychology at its finest. While others are busy being authentic, spilling their weaknesses for the world to see, you are building a mask, and that mask becomes armor. No one can stab what they cannot touch. People want certainty. They want clarity. And if you can project that, even when chaos surrounds you, they will bend toward you. They will trust your lead. They will fear your silence. They will obey your image. Write this now in the comments. I control how they see me. I decide who I am to the world. That phrase isn't just words. It's a code. Live by it, and you become untouchable. Control perception, and you control the battlefield. Control the battlefield, and you control destiny. That is Machiavellian mastery. 9. Strategic dominance, positioning yourself beyond replacement. Dominance isn't about constant fighting. It isn't about proving yourself every day in petty battles. True dominance is about positioning. Position yourself correctly, and no one can replace you. Position yourself correctly, and no one can move against you without destroying themselves. This is the highest level of Machiavellian strategy, not endless struggle, but untouchable positioning. Think of the chessboard. The king doesn't run across the board chasing pawns. The king stays centered, guarded, immovable. The pawns fight. The knights sacrifice. The queen moves with speed. But the king holds position because the game itself revolves around him. That's dominance. That's inevitability. Your goal in life is the same. Position yourself in such a way that everything revolves around you. Your absence creates a void. Your presence stabilizes chaos. Whether in business, relationships, or power structures, you must become the one who cannot be ignored and cannot be replaced. Machiavelli knew this. Power is fragile if it depends on constant performance. But power becomes unshakable when it depends on necessity. Become necessary and you are untouchable. How? First, master competence. Whatever you do it better than anyone around you. Not loudly, quietly. Let your results speak for themselves. Competence makes you valuable. Second, master relationships strategically. Don't seek to be liked, seek to be needed. Make yourself the solution to problems others can't solve. Third, master patience. Don't chase positions of power. Build the foundation so those positions chase you. Dark psychology plays a role here too. People cling to those who make them feel secure. If you project calm when chaos rises, they associate you with stability. They begin to rely on you, even if they don't admit it. And once reliance sets in, control follows. They fear losing you more than you fear losing them. That is dominance. Stoicism strengthens this position. When others are shaken, you are still. When others argue, you remain silent. When others panic, you hold steady. This composure makes you the anchor in the storm. And in a world drowning in instability, the anchor is never replaced. Strategic dominance also requires foresight. Don't fight battles that weaken you, even if you win. Choose the battles that position you better. Sometimes the strongest move is restraint. Sometimes the greatest strike is silence. Sometimes the smartest choice is to let others burn themselves out while you wait. Every move should reinforce your position, not just inflate your ego. Consider this. Lions don't fight over every meal. They conserve energy, waiting for the right kill. The lion doesn't waste itself proving dominance over every creature. It saves itself for the moments that matter. You must do the same. Never move for validation. Move for positioning. Control perception, yes. But more importantly, control placement. Place yourself in rooms where decisions are made. Place yourself at the center of networks. Place yourself in positions where your removal would cost more than your presence. That is untouchable power. Understand this clearly. The man who is needed cannot be betrayed without consequence. The man who is irreplaceable commands silent obedience. That's why your strategy must always be bigger than your ego. Don't seek applause, seek leverage. Applause fades, leverage lasts. And leverage is built on patience, perception, and precision, not force, not noise. Cold power does not announce itself. Cold power positions itself so deeply that it cannot be uprooted. Think of empires. Rome did not dominate by shouting. Rome dominated by building systems no one else could match. Roads, armies, law, infrastructure. Remove Rome and civilization collapsed. That is your model. Build yourself so deeply into the structure that without you, everything falters. This is the Machiavellian principle of inevitability. Don't just win battles. Design the game so you cannot lose. Don't just chase thrones. Build the throne so only you can sit on it. Don't just fight rivals. Make the cost of fighting you unbearable. Comment this now. I am not replaceable. I am inevitable. Let those words sink in. Repeat them until they shape your actions. Because once you position yourself as inevitable, the world must revolve around you. That is strategic dominance, not frantic, not fragile, absolute. 10. The final code, becoming untouchable. Everything you've heard so far, patience, silence, restraint, control, perception, positioning, has led to this moment. The code, the mindset, the armor that makes you untouchable in a world built to break men. Understand this. Life is not fair. Life is not kind. It is not waiting to hand you what you deserve. Life is war disguised as order. And in war, you don't survive by being naive. You don't survive by being emotional. You don't survive by being soft. You survive and you conquer by becoming someone who cannot be moved. Machiavelli understood this truth centuries ago. He knew that men are weak, predictable, and desperate for comfort. And he knew the few who would rise are those who stand apart. Cold, calculating, patient. That is your path. The triad of untouchable power. To become untouchable, you must master 3 forces. 1. Patience. Most men destroy themselves by moving too soon. They chase, they force, they grab for scraps. But you wait. You wait not in weakness, but in strength. You wait like the predator who knows his prey cannot escape. You let the world exhaust itself, reveal itself, and when the timing is perfect, you strike once and end it. 2. Perception. The truth is irrelevant. What matters is what people believe. Craft your image with precision. Reveal only what strengthens your legend. Let silence guard your weaknesses. Let discipline shape your aura. If they think you are ruthless, patient, and calm, that's all that matters. Perception becomes reality, and reality becomes control. 3. Positioning. Battles are won before they're fought. Place yourself where your absence creates collapse. Make yourself the anchor in the storm. Build networks, skills, and leverage so deeply that no one can replace you without suffering more than they gain. This is how kings rise, not through noise, but through inevitability. The power of emotional detachment. If you want to last, you must master detachment. Manipulators feed on weakness. They bait your pride, your anger, your lust, your need for validation. But when you refuse to react, when you present the calm face of stone, their tricks shatter, their games collapse. This is masculine stoicism in action. To suffer in silence, to win without boasting, to endure without complaint. When pain does not shake you, when insult does not touch you, when loss does not break you, you become a force beyond comprehension. The weaponization of pain. Your scars are not shame, they are symbols. Every wound, every betrayal, every setback, use it, turn it into fuel, store it deep, and let it sharpen you. The world expects you to fold under suffering. When you rise instead, colder, stronger, and more focused, you terrify them. Pain becomes your weapon. Say it now in the comments. My scars are my strength. My pain is my weapon. Cold strategy in action. Stop thinking life rewards fairness. It rewards leverage. Be silent when others shout. Be calm when others panic. Be patient when others rush. Each time, you will gain ground while they lose theirs. If you must strike, strike hard. End it quickly. Machiavelli wrote that mercy can be cruelty when it prolongs suffering. Learn from this. Do not wound. Finish. If you must act, act decisively so no one dares test you again. And when you don't act, let your silence speak louder than violence. Silence unsettles. Silence intimidates. Silence bends people without a single word. Building the fortress within. All of this means nothing if your mind is weak. So build your fortress. Discipline your habits. Control your impulses. Cut out distractions, vices, and wasted time. A fortress does not let invaders stroll through its gates. Guard your gates. Guard your time. Guard your mind. The man who controls himself controls the battlefield. The man who rules his emotions rules his destiny. The man who commands his silence commands fear. The untouchable identity, this is who you must become. Unreadable. They cannot see your next move. Unprovocable. They cannot trigger your emotions. Unreplaceable. They cannot remove you without paying a price. Unstoppable. They cannot weaken you with pain or failure. This is not arrogance. This is inevitability. The untouchable man is not loud. He is not desperate. He is not chasing. He is gravity itself. Everything bends to him. Write this now in the comments. I am inevitable. I am untouchable. The closing call. This is the code, the Machiavellian strategy, the path of masculine stoicism, dark psychology, and cold power. Follow it, and you will no longer be a pawn in someone else's game. You will be the one setting the board. So take these words, burn them into your mind, and live them daily. Don't just listen. Embody them. Become the man who waits, the man who endures, the man who bends the world without ever being bent himself. And if this message hit you with force, if it woke something in you, then prove it. Drop your empowering phrase in the comments. Share it. Let the world know you're building yourself into something untouchable. Finally, remember, if you want to keep strengthening your mind, your discipline, and your power, subscribe to Mental Fort. Hit the like button. Turn on notifications. This is where warriors are forged. This is where the untouchable are born. Stay silent. Stay patient. Stay powerful.